So, for my project, I am looking at immigrants in America, and from the 1900s to 2004, I have a list of the number of legal immigrants that have come here. And studying immigrants is important because immigrants are America. America was made from immigrants. And when we know about immigrants and their trends, we can understand the trends of America, and we can infer from immigration trends the past of America and even maybe its future. Now, here is a graph of all the immigrants from 2004 to 1900. And when you look at it, it's really overwhelming. There is no pattern. There's no trend. It's just a few immigrants, a lot of immigrants, a few, a little. The numbers just increase and decrease sporadically. There's seemingly no rhyme or rhythm to this. But if we break it down, we can see something a little more interesting. For example, this is a graph of just a section, 1980 to 2004. Now, it's really interesting with this section because we can see the increase up until 1990, and then the dramatic increase, and then a decline. Now, if we look at this in just the large section of a graph, we wouldn't be able to see this. But looking up close, we can see the extreme difference in immigrants. And looking at this graph is more than just noticing the increase. We can look at it and think, why? Why is there that increase? And this dramatic increase, it occurred in 1991. And when you think about it, 1990 is the year that the Immigration and Nationality Act was signed. So there was an influx of immigrants to America because of that bill. And that's why we see this trend of increasing and then moderate decreasing as the years continue. If we look at another example, this is about 1925 to 1936-ish, and this again shows dramatic jump. But at this time, the dramatic jump is stable. It doesn't decrease automatically. So we can look at this and wonder, why is this? And we can look further into that. Now, by looking at all these graphs, all these images, by analyzing them in sections, we can learn about immigrants in America and everything about the country. And that's really interesting, especially with the immigration reform that's happening right now. We can kind of compare the past immigration and use it to foresee the future. And for the rest of my presentation, I'm going to add more images, and I'm going to work on the charts that I have right now because they're not fully developed. And I'm also going to find a few more instances of the immigration influx and defluxes and discuss that in my presentation, which should hopefully be pretty interesting. Okay, so for Google Earth, I made some kind of cool images, and from SketchUp, what I made was this little arch, and you can't really see it very well, but it says, "Welcome to America, immigration population," and then it says the population of immigrants in America since 2011. And this kind of goes along with my project, which is immigration throughout the years. And so it has one of the current immigration numbers. And it says, "Welcome to America," and it is exactly on top of the White House. And so that kind of shows the nation's capital, so the nation was the best place to put the little welcome arch. So, what I also made is a kind of like some graphs that show the immigrant population in select states from 2011. So, first of all, this huge column, that is the entire population of America, immigrant population. And I put it in Washington, D.C. to symbolize the country as a whole. Now, the smaller and the shorter a column is, the lower the population. So, if we look over here, really, really small, Oklahoma, it has 77,000 roughly immigrants. So it's really small and it's really tiny column. Now California, it has 10 million-ish immigrants. So that's why it's thicker, rounder, taller than the other ones. And there's New York hiding behind Washington, D.C. And then right there, Kentucky, it's actually not the smallest with immigrant populations in this selected graph. But Kentucky has 140,433 immigrants as of 2011. So that's basically a quick representation of kind of the current immigration trends, which goes along with my broader theme of immigration throughout the ages.